All right, my lovely orchid tubers, this is Robbie, or the Orchid Prince. Just wanted to do a quick little video. I got up really early this morning because I thought I had to be at work at 6:30, and then I get there and I'm not supposed to be there until 2. So I have a little bit of free time. There's a lot of stuff I need to do with my orchids, and I mean a lot. But I'm gonna go ahead and take it slow, do the most important things first. I will give you a brief tour of things. As you can see, I'm sitting on my deck. We just finished it. We got to put something up for shade, but it is hot, like hot as balls out here. There's a slight breeze, but not much whatsoever. I really wish I had a fan. But my orchids, I do not like where I have put them, so I will be creating something new that way instead of that corner, because they're just getting way too much light over there. It's really hard to regulate temperatures with the way that I have everything set up right now. So some of them are not doing very well, some of them are doing okay, and a lot of them have gotten sunburnt because of the way that the shade cloth is. So I will be picking through them, getting rid of all the ones that have died, and there are quite a few. But like I said, I'm gonna go ahead and get some of this stuff done. A lot of it still needs to be done, but there's 2 important things that I'm going to attempt to do today. First thing is actually repotting. Let's just look, sorry I keep saying not feeling that good today, but anyway, so so I went to Homestead for the Redlands show, and I ended up picking up a few orchids while I was there, a couple of maxillarias. If you don't know, the Maxillaria tenuifolia is actually the coconut orchid that smells like coconut cream pie. One of my favorite orchids. I just love orchids that have a good scent to them. I don't care what the scent is. Bulbophyllums that smell like rotting flesh. I just, flowers are pretty, but I kind of want them to give off a scent. So I ended up picking up a few maxillarias. One of them has already died, which sucks. But I still do have one. It's just not doing very well. There are some new growths. It has grown a little bit, but it is not retaining the water like I need it to. So I'm going to put it in a hanging pot with some different sphagnum moss. I've noticed there is a difference in sphagnum moss. I will show you in a little bit what I'm talking about. So I had a few different bags of sphagnum moss, and none of them were that old. They were a few different, like I said, brands. So when I did major repotting, I used both of them. And I've noticed that one pack, which I have no idea which one it is, I hope it's this one right here, which you can find at Home Depot, which is what I use for all my orchids, most of them. But I've noticed that some of them will retain water for a pretty significant amount of time. For my catasetany type orchids, that's great because they need a lot of water. I've got a lot of fertilizer in it. The only bad thing about fertilizer and keeping it moist all the time is that algae grows. So I'll show you some of that. I've got some of my catasetany type orchids that are doing very well. I've got some that are not doing very well. I lost a whole batch from Sunset Valley Orchids. I had gotten a bunch of seedlings, as you probably saw, and I had them all trayed up, and the middle part of the tray completely wiped out. The outside edges, which I think I used a different sphagnum moss, they're actually doing okay. And then I've got some that are doing really, really, really good, and then I've got some that, like the very first one that I potted up as the experiment with 3 different types inside of a clear jar kind of thing, one of the restaurant cups that I have, those are all gone. So, and it's my fault. I have not been out here as much. Those of you who think it's easy to grow orchids in Florida, everybody just wishes they lived in Florida because it's going to be so easy with the humidity and everything. Lies, I tell you, lies. Because I do have a great sized backyard compared to the backyard that I had at my old place, but there's not that many trees back here, so there's not a lot of shade. So I do have to use man-made shade until I move them to the other side where I have my greenhouses right now, which I'm actually going to take all the tarps off because it gets way too hot, and that's the coolest area. So I'm going to build like a little, well, I guess like a little patio or something back there, and I'm going to start hanging them off of, we have a palm tree and an oak tree back there, and I'm going to hang them on the fence as well. So that'll be my little area. I probably am going to cut a hole in the back of the shed so that I can push things in and pull things out as I need them. But let's go ahead and get started. So, as I said, it's really hot, so I will be pausing every once in a while to take a sip of Gatorade. Very, very important when working with orchids. Stay hydrated, just like most of the orchids need. So, I'm gonna bend this down real quick. I just got this little nifty thing at a place called Five Below, which if you haven't been there, I suggest you go. They're popping up everywhere. It's like a dollar store, but everything is $5 and below. So, it's better quality stuff. You have more selection. It's not just like all the cheap stuff that you can get at the dollar store. The dollar store has good stuff, don't get me wrong. But Five Below is better. The only thing is, it adds up real quick. So, I'm going to actually tilt this down. I do not have my hydrogen peroxide out here, but I'm not worried about that. I've already sterilized these, even though they are rather rusty. I'm not going to be doing too terribly much when it comes to cutting roots and everything. So, the first one that I'm working with, we're actually going to do 2 today, if I can get to it. It depends. I'm already at 7 minutes because I just keep talking and talking and talking about random stuff. And I know you just want to get to the orchids. So the first one that I'm actually going to be repotting is Maxillaria Aeroglobula. So if you look right there. Now this is from Andy's Orchids. I will be actually contacting him soon because I do want to get some good maxillarias once I have a suitable environment for them, because I feel really bad that I let 2 of them die. They weren't that expensive. If you look right here, this orchid right here was only $7, and I think he actually had a sale that was like buy 2 get 1 free, or buy 2 get 1 50% off. It was something really good. That's why I ended up getting a few of them. The other one I have, I actually lost the name tag on it, and to me it kind of looks like a Stanhopea, but I'm not sure. And I tried calling him and he wasn't actually there. It was his brother, and his brother was not available, and I doubt he'll even remember me. But let's go ahead and get started. So I basically, when I purchased it, it was bare root, so I did a quick makeshift, you know, get a clay pot, get some sphagnum moss, put it in it, get the roots to stabilize, and then we'll go from there. So, hold on 1 second. I have some twine. Maybe I didn't get the right scissors. That's gonna be annoying. So, anyway, I did a quick little fix. I will probably step off camera in just a second. Sorry, I do not know how to edit, as most of y'all know. I don't have a thing to put these in, so sorry. Anyway, sorry I will not be able to edit that out, but hey, if any of you orchid tubers out there like Anna Marie or you know, Astrid, anybody out there from Orchid Adventures, if you want to teach me how to actually edit videos, it would be very much appreciated. So basically what I'm doing is I'm actually going to get the sphagnum moss out. Now it is retaining water right now, as you can see, but it dries up real quick. So if you look right here, I had barely any roots when I first got this. Let me actually just angle this down real quick. So I had barely any roots when I originally got this. So there are some good roots coming in. As you can see right here, I've got a little nub in here and right here. The only thing is that all these pseudobulbs were here. They have actually all pretty much just deteriorated. I think it's trying to bounce back, so it's using up all of its energy. So I actually have a little bit of Osmocote. I don't know how it's gonna work in the hanging pot, but I was planning on putting a little bit of Osmocote in with it just to help give it a little bit more nourishment. But the one thing that I did have a problem with when I first got it is because it was bare root, it was moist and wrapped in a paper towel, not by me, but by Andy's Orchids. And when I got home, I actually looked at the roots and there was a little bit of mold or a fungus on it. So I had to sterilize it. That's why I think it's taken so long to actually bounce back. Also, it's fallen down quite a few times. So what I'm going to do right now, I do have some roots here that I do not need. None of these roots actually look that good. I'm gonna keep a few of them. I am gonna keep a few of them. Let me just... Alrighty. So, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna actually leave this in the water for right now. Now, what I've chosen is just a small little Vanda hanging pot. Now, the reason I'm doing this is because I am going to stick one of these inside of it to actually help stabilize it, because it is a little top heavy, as you can tell by the big leaves. So I'm actually going to pack it in as good as I can, and later on I will actually take twine and go from corner to corner to actually keep it in, because it did keep falling out of its pot. That's another reason why it probably isn't doing that well right now. So I'm going to take and there is no fungus growing on any of the sphagnum moss. As I said, it was done just a few months ago. Nothing that bad, but I'm going to soak this in a little bit of water. Now, whether you're working with sphagnum moss or if you are working with the orchid mixes with the fir bark and charcoal and everything, I always recommend to actually soak it for a little bit. I didn't have time to do it this time, but when you soak it, it retains that water, so it'll, you know, right off the bat, it's got a good steady amount of water, and then when it absorbs water, it's going to be easier for it to absorb. So I am going to take a little bit and put it down at the bottom, kind of like you're doing a pie crust. I'm going to take a little bit of Osmocote, as you can see. Just put it in. Now, I got this Osmocote for my Catasetini type orchids. I don't typically use a lot of fertilizer, which is also probably why some of them are not doing that well. I have it, I just haven't used it. Once I install a misting system, which I cannot wait, we've already got it ordered, of course, all of that will change. Now, if you also look, it got a lot of sun damage. So I'm going to go ahead and hang this one up in the back so it doesn't get any more sun damage. Now, be careful when you have new growths, because you don't want to break it off. Now, keep in mind, new growths is where new roots will actually grow with this maxillaria. So you want to make sure that it has something to grow into. And you want to make sure that you don't accidentally break one off. So I'll just sprinkle a little bit more on top. Now, Now, I've never had a problem with any of my orchids, the roots burning or anything from Osmocote. Other fertilizers, yes. Osmocote, not so much. So, I'm actually going to take this and let me actually go right here. You want to get it as close to the pseudobulb as possible. Now this one already has a natural curve to it, so I'm actually going to go over to this one because I do not want to break it. And then I have a little bit of twine, but I'm actually going to do that later. So I got some wires that I'm actually going to put onto this. They sell them at Home Depot. You can get many different types, but I will hang this up. Hopefully it's going to retain water a little bit better, but hopefully that bounces back. Now, the other thing that I need to repot today, and I'm going to try to do this quick because I don't want y'all to think that I just talked too much, but I recently received a Stanhopea. You probably saw in one of my prior videos the blossoms that were on it, and they were just gorgeous. So when she gave it to me, I was very, very excited. The only thing is that it was not doing very well. I have a Royal Poinsettia out front, and I had it hanging from there, and it had plenty of shade. It always looked damp. It looked like it was doing good, but I've actually had a flower spike come down that it got about 3 inches long and just aborted. Then if you look right here, I had a new pseudobulb, new growth come out, and it got about 1 inch long and aborted. And then I had another new one come out right here and it aborted. So it is time. I've already talked to Anna from Crooked Orchids. It is time to repot. So the only reason I've actually kept from repotting is this right here is a, what do you call it? A stag fern. And I did not want to ruin it, but if you look, all of these pseudobulbs are gone. So I was going to split it up. I don't think it's actually even possible right now. Oh, I can use that though. So what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna take this apart very gently and go ahead and repot it. This sucker's in here. How am I going to do this? Oh my. Oh! Oh no! Okay. This is severely overgrown. I should have done this a long time ago. Actually, it should have been repotted before she gave it to me, but she gave it to me, so can't be mad at that. Ooh. So I'm gonna try to damage this too much. So I'm going to try to just cut right here where the pseudobulb has come out. Only thing is This is a really sturdy pot. I'm probably gonna break my scissors. I do not want to damage any. Hold on. Right here. Any of the pseudobulbs. There's not that many that are viable right now. So, this does have quite a bit of water in it. Oh, we're already at 21 minutes. So I'll do this, and then I'll make another video later. Oh my. Oh my. Okay, so I'm just gonna try to go from this side to get it out. There we go. I'm sorry this is taking so long, guys. I didn't think it would be this hard. Okay, so I've got it. Now, what I'm going to go into is this right here. So, I'm going to find a spot. I think I'm going to have to learn how to edit for this video. I'm taking way too much time on this. Alright, well, what I'm going to do is, I'm actually going to leave this for a second. I'm going to do another video on that because I need to just reconnoiter on that. So real quick, let me just show you. Here is our deck. It looks gorgeous. There are my dying orchids. And then over here is where I want to build a little shade garden, and it feels so good right here. So it gets a lot of good natural shade. Now, right here is some roses that I'm trying to propagate with potatoes. I will do a demonstration on that soon. I do have some interesting things happening. I just had my Fred Clark Yara After Dark SVO Black Pearl bloom. The blooms are all gone, but I do have my monk orchid. Now, I found this orchid a while ago. I can't remember if I found it or if a friend found it and gave it to me, but I think it was growing in my backyard. I potted it up, and if you look right here, there, if you look right here, there's actually a bloom spike coming out there, and then another one back here. So I'm very excited about that. I've got some of my cymbidiums that are blooming. Mulberry tree, lime tree, and miracle berry bush. So I went ahead and gave you a little bit of a tour. I'll do another little bit of a tour next time and tell you what my plans are. Now, I will be doing a lot more videos soon. I've got a great new job, so I have a little bit more free time, and I know my schedule now. So anyway, this has been the Orchid Prince. Sorry it took so long to do so little, but I will do another video coming up shortly. But thank you for watching. Make sure to stay tuned. If you like my videos, make sure to subscribe and hit like. Leave a comment below if you want to chat. I do tend to answer all of my comments. And if you have any questions, concerns, comments, go ahead and put them down below. If it's hateful, don't put it down below. If you want to talk, I will PM you on Facebook. But anyway, this has been the Orchid Prince, and I'm out.